Oh. Why is it glitching out? Well, it might be because I really haven't used my laptop in like 2 weeks because I thought it was broken. It's that! Which is awesome. And I'm home. Room tour. So much has been going on lately, and I think I'm about to enter another era, like a new stage of my life. So I think I might be doing a new name. Last year was a really transitional stage, so I chose a new name, and I'm just like, call me crazy. I don't even want to say that because I feel like people have. But I'm like, call me crazy, but I do believe that you should just change your name if you feel inclined any day to just be like, hey, this doesn't match my circumstances right now. You can just change your name, and it's just not that deep. Like, everyone that you meet from that point forward, that even people that are already in your life, you could be like, hey, everybody, this is my name for the time being. And which is kind of what I did, except it wasn't something that the people current or already in my life were like privy to, because it was like low key, it was just some chill shit. But thinking real life though, I'm like, it's things like that that I'm like, life just isn't like, there are just certain things that you just don't have to validate just because they're kind of like written into social codes, into unwritten social codes, even just social codes, period. I'm like, if it doesn't hold any moral weight and it makes you so happy, then do it. So I think I will be choosing another name, but I have no clue what it will be. Life is crazy. I'm so stressed out, and it's the holidays. The holidays are the worst time to be stressed out. I'm always stressed out in the holidays. Not because it's the holiday, but I just have so many scary things looming at me. Like, my electric got cut off for like a week. Like a month ago, and that sucked because it was really cold, and it was also really just upsetting because I live alone right now, which I don't like, and I also can't afford, and I'm trying to find a roommate, and I'm like, no, just so many different things. I'm also like, just complete raw moment of financial transparency, because I'm like, these things, I feel like it's so hard to navigate these things because no one ever talks about them. And even though they are so hard to navigate independently, they're like such taboos to admit that you're struggling with finances. So it's like, because I feel like anytime that that you're going through something, it feels so hard to tell other people because it kind of feels like you're walking around with in this huge bubble that's encased in spikes, and people are so afraid to permeate it and have them spray all over them. And I'm like, my emotions and my state of being, or just anyone's just wellness or lack thereof, is, I do understand why like people have a hard time talking about these things, because sometimes there is a level of emotional weight that is really hard to navigate, especially whenever it's someone that you love going through something really hard. But it's also just like, usually the most helpful thing in these scenarios is just having someone not to go through it with you, but to just be like, hey, this is a really shitty thing that happened to you. And it's not a moral failure that you weren't able to meet your need, but I will sit through this with you as you figure out what this looks like for your life. So I think that, yeah, just the reason that it makes me sad is because it just feels really isolating, and I feel very boxed in on what I feel comfortable communicating to people because I just don't know how that's going to be received. And as much as I do know that my words and my emotions do deserve to be received, I'm also very wary on who I allow to be on the receiving end of them because I know that how my vulnerabilities are interacted with will really shape how moving forward I'm able to reveal them to people. So it's just really nerve-wracking because there's just so many things going on in my life right now, and yeah, I'm having a really hard time, and I really didn't even process that in full until last night. I was talking to like one of my dearest friends, and I hadn't talked to her in like months, and I felt so bad because I was like, this is like one of the kindest people in my life, one of the people that tries very consistently to like, yeah, to like keep an open line of communication and like to, I don't know, just have consistent conversation and whatnot. So I felt very badly, but just in complete honesty, whenever I was giving her like the life recap, we were giving each other the life recap during when I was like, oh my god, wait. Like, I knew that life had been chaotic and like a lot had gone on, but I was like, wait, things are actually really hard. And I think that that's a really strange thing to be processing right now in this stage of my life because I'm realizing that a lot of things that happened in my life were actually really harrowing and really challenging to have experienced, and I'm only now being able to like be able to reflect on them as having the effect that they did on me like years later, like, which is scary. It's gratifying because I'm glad to know these things about myself and to be like aware of where my mind is and what my mind needs out of me, but it's also really scary because it's like in those moments I miss out on so many opportunities for not even just self-reflection, but like even just like somatic preparation. I think that that's a really big thing that is really hard for me because I feel like because so many things just sat on my soul for so long, my body processed all of them without knowing what they were due to, but my mind didn't because I didn't register what they were due to. So my body has a lot of these lasting, just physical manifestations of just really hard survival situations. And now I don't know how to release a lot of that. So I really want to look into to just some sort of like physical relief route, and I want to see what sort of like holistic practitioners are offering help because I don't want a medication. I don't want to take a pill for the rest of my life, but I do want to feel better. I think I feel like I for so long woke up every single morning with just a knot in my stomach, just in a state of like confused panic, even if nothing is happening that day. And that dissolved for a while. And then it came back really full force whenever not being in school has provided me the opportunity to actually evaluate how a lot of my life has played out, which, once again, very gratifying, but also like really hard. Because I feel like every time that I overcome like a certain stage in my life, or like a certain just mental process that I'm trying to make it to see the other side of and trying to figure out what that looks like for me, like navigating the whole, I don't know, the whole scope of the matter, then like there's just another scenario that's just waiting for me to address it, which I do understand that that's what healing is for, but I think that that's a really big reason that I really want to find some sort of consistent therapizing scheduled communication. And I say therapizing rather than therapist because I am kind of at the stage of life where I don't really believe in therapy as like how it's presented now. In concept, it's incredible. And I have been in therapy before, and I support people that choose therapy as a route if that is what works for you and you feel that that is a productive use of your emotions and your finances and your capacities. Like, that does make sense. If that's what your needs are asking of you, go to therapy. Do what you need to do to feel right within yourself. But I've realized that so much of therapy for me, like my inclination to go to it, was pathologizing the fact that I didn't know how to build or maintain or find community. And that's the really big thing that was missing for me. So once I was able to do that, everything in my life changed and it became a lot more beautiful in so many ways. But I think that now something that I'm really looking for, now that I have the community that it is that I'm looking, which, oh my gosh, that within itself just makes the knot that's sitting here talking about these high stress things kind of dissolve a bit and unfurl a bit, because it makes me so happy to know that like these things always used to just feel so impossible, because I feel like the key to making like major life decisions, and even if they are independently inspired, or major life transitions, is like something interpersonal. And it's just been a really gratifying thing to be able to have people in my life at this stage of my life. I'm like, I know that this person cares about me. I know that I care about them, and I can stand by the decision that I made to involve them in my life in the direction that it's taking. And it just makes me so happy, because I lived a lot of my childhood in like seclusion, so it was really hard to feel like received by other people, and that really wasn't something that I experienced in genuinity until this year. So being able to have that happen, oh my gosh, it just makes me so happy. And like knowing that there's like, if I'm feeling bored, like there's people that I can call, or if there's people like like it's just so exciting. And so like it's just my favorite thing ever. And I also have like older friends and like trusted adults in my life for the first time, which is so exciting. And I'm like, that is the best feeling ever, to feel like received by people that have more life experience than I do, is so exciting and necessary, because it just, everything just feels like shooting in the dark. Like I feel like a lot of my path into adulthood has just felt like, yeah, just fucking guess and check to every extent. And it's so hard because I didn't grow up with a lot of guidance in like most of these things. So navigating what they all looked like for me was so incredibly hard. It was so incredibly hard, especially considering my dad wasn't like in my life until the past like 4 years or so. So it just really was so insane navigating a lot of those things without like an adult to be able to consult. And I feel like just so much of the time I was really, really hard on myself, and I always used to feel so ashamed and so nervous and so anxious about everything that I was doing, and I just felt like it was all wrong. And being able to hear that even if it doesn't always come out clean cut, that people are still going to receive me, and that everything is going to be okay and everything is fine, even if it feels like it's so hard, is a really necessary and really exciting feeling to be able to have. And it just makes me so happy to know that I'm doing things right, and that right literally changes from day to day, and that's okay to reevaluate my needs and figure out how to meet the new ones that present themselves. So I don't know, but I think the thing that has been really, as much as I have been so stressed out by these situations, yeah, the thing that has really been just providing like an umbrella throughout what seems like to be a really big storm in my life right now is Just the fact that I really know that I have people that I can talk to if I needed to, and even just people like yeah, just being received, like sending a text to someone or sending or calling someone or being like, hey, you want to hang out, even if people don't respond like real quick, because I'm not big on electronic communication. I feel so bad. I actually made a cumulative list today of every single person in my phone that I want to get back to. And it's like 20 people deep, and I feel so bad because all of those 20 things, that's like the major conversations cumulative list, not even, well, not even major, but like the just over, but long story short, it's like it's just a very good feeling to know that there are people that are willing to hear the words that I have to say and willing to kind of just sit with me through hard moments. And yeah, and even if they don't have insight, offering presence, I feel like presence is one of the most underrated but valuable things that you can afford to someone that does need something out of their life, if that's something that you have the capacity to provide, because it just gives someone kind of just like a tether to hold on to whenever everything else is just so impossibly rocky. Not even in a way that like you have to be providing something to someone, but having some sense of like consistency, even if it's for like a couple hours, being like, I am in this person's presence in the time that I am here. Nothing will change in me being safe, protected, and healthy. And if any of those three things do change, there is someone here to receive the circumstances. Like it can feel so all consuming whenever you're going through something that it's like, oh my god, am I gonna sit here and die? So it's like whenever someone is sitting there with you, even if you're so freaked out and someone's just sitting there doing their own thing, even just on their fucking phone reading a book, crafting or something, it's like, I am not going to die because this person is sitting here. I am not going to die because someone is in this room with me, and there is something to hold on to. There is some sense of consistency and some sense of peace and solace that I'm finding in sharing a space with someone. So, but yeah, I'm so glad that I talked through that. I've realized that I just haven't made a lot of time for myself to process big emotions, and that was a very big emotion for me that I really had to just sit down and get through. And yeah, okay, yeah.